Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for ITEAM Prize Tips for Crafting a Strong Submission. Our presenters today are Eli Levine from the U.S. Department of Energy and Emily Evans from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. So just some technical stuff before we get started. I hope everyone is joined in listen-only mode. And if you have audio issues, try connecting through your phone. If that doesn't work, send us a chat. Let me know if you can't hear something. And then we're going to do the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So please continue to submit your questions, but know that we won't answer them until the end of the presentation. So today we're going to cover the American-made challenges, what the ITEAM Prize is, tips for crafting a winning submission, timeline and awards, next steps and questions. Okay, I'm going to hand this over to Emily Evans.
Hi, this is Emily Evans, and I'm a prize administrator for the American Made Challenges. Libby, on my side, it's still showing the cover page slide.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Libby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So the ITEAM Prize is hosted by the American Made Challenges platform. American Made Challenges was established by the U.S. Department of Energy to energize American ingenuity in the energy marketplace and empower innovators with knowledge, resources, and access to rapidly transform their ideas into reality. In support of the American Made Challenges, DOE also established the American Made Network to help create partnerships that connect entrepreneurs to the private sector, as well as to the network of DOE's national laboratories across the nation. This network-based approach helped to set entrepreneurs on a network-powered pathway of disruptive innovation so that their ideas can become reality in months and not just years. And now to talk about the ITEAM Prize in greater detail, I'll hand things off to Eli Levine. Eli?
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Emily. I really appreciate it. And I just want to start off by thanking the National Renewable Energy Lab for their leadership in running not only this prize, but all of the prizes under the American Made Challenge. We hope that prizes are a new innovative way for helping folks work with government and take advantage of these opportunities, and for us to shine a light on all the leadership that's being shown all around the country. So the ITEAM Prize, or the Individuals Taking Energy Action in Manufacturing, was launched with the goal of identifying ideas and practices for measurable energy savings in the U.S. at U.S. manufacturing plants and to stimulate innovation at other facilities. We feel that by lifting up and bringing attention to some of the amazing stuff that's happening all around the country, hopefully that can catalyze other manufacturers and work these plants all around the country to copy these ideas and seek to push their plants to do even more to tackle these challenges and to strengthen U.S. manufacturing competitiveness. So next slide. So as I said, we launched the ITEAM Prize really with two goals here. The first is to recognize individuals who are responsible for creative, specific, and innovative ideas and practices that led to significant measurable energy savings at their manufacturing facilities. Taking this out of the C-suite glossy reports to really shine a light on the folks who are doing the work and leading and coming up with these really exciting ideas. And then secondly, to encourage the individuals to widely share their ideas and practices for the benefit of U.S. manufacturing facilities nationwide. Next slide, as we said, through the prize, DOE is seeking to recognize and bring attention to employees on the plant floor all around the country who recognize the importance of saving energy and are making it happen, who are strengthening their company's competitiveness through energy savings and then driving cost savings in the process. We see that we've heard this from manufacturers all around the country that saving energy can lead to saving money, and saving money can really go towards driving competitiveness. So next slide. Yes, as I should do a better job of just letting the slides speak for themselves. So energy savings manufacturers, every dollar saved allows for investment in production facilities and jobs that ultimately makes U.S. Companies more competitive and resilient. So now let's turn our attention a little bit to the prize and what it looks like to put together a compelling submission. On the next slide, first, while we hope this webinar is helpful and we want to use this time to answer any questions that you may have, your best bet is just to read the prize rules. These are the ones that our lawyers have combed over and should hopefully have answers for all of your questions. So the link is at the bottom there for you to take advantage of the prize rules. But when we talk about what to submit a narrative of no more than 3 pages. We've tried to make this relatively easy for folks in these crazy times to apply, to document the energy savings at your plant. Explain what percentage of the plant savings metered. Try to have it signed by a senior executive at the manufacturer. Document the energy savings over the past 12 months to show the improvement in percentage terms compared to the previous year and how specific employee efforts have driven energy and cost savings. Next slide. In terms of the narrative, this is really about telling your story. So describe the outcomes and benefits of your project to improve the energy efficiency at your facility. What led you to take this action? How has your actions resulted in energy savings? Has it improved energy generation? Were there water savings or risk mitigation involved? Did this lead to productivity improvements from your project? Maintenance savings, improved safety, anything that you can think of that helps describe the impact of the action you took so that we can fully appreciate it as the reviewers and judges, but also so that we can then turn around and share this broadly and help amplify the work that you're doing. Next slide. Other things to cover, the timeline to develop and implement the process, were there changes along the way to the process? What was your estimated budget and cost? Was there staff or outside support required? Did you use any outreach efforts, tools, or resources? Really whatever you can do to help us learn and gain a better window into the process that you took, what you learned from this, and how you generated the savings that you did. As a quick note there, the narrative should not include any PII beyond your applicant name and email address. Next slide. So in terms of measurable results, the narrative is important, but ultimately we really want to see the numbers and quantify the savings. So identify how your organization is assessing these metrics, how your organization is encouraging further deployment of the technology, showcase the metered savings on a quarter-by-quarter basis, percentage-based cost and BTU savings from the project normalized with actual data. And just as a reminder for all of you, because in case we get this question later, the purpose of this webinar is really to showcase best practices and what we see as tips to help you make a compelling presentation. If you're not able to in these crazy times to do one of these things or to document one of these things, that's not disqualifying. It's just more, this is what we're recommending in terms of helping you, what a compelling presentation would look like. Next slide. So in addition, we have this firm 3-page limit. The exception to that is if you want to include 2 letters that support the data or operations of the improvement or the leadership exemplified, these letters of support won't be included in the page limit. This is a long and wordy slide about eligibility. Ultimately here, I would really encourage you to read the prize rules and make sure that you fit into all of these categories, but comply with all of the requirements, be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, 18 or older, have your manufacturing plant where the idea or practice is being implemented be located in the United States, have the manufacturer be incorporated in or maintain a primary place of business in the United States. Don't have DOE help you turn in apply for you, or they're not eligible to apply for themselves. And yeah, so those are the prize rules. Happy to answer any questions if you have in regard to these, but I'm not going to sit and go through word for word them because you can read them. Your applications will be reviewed by a panelist of judges that is DOE National Lab experts, as well as Department of Energy staff with relevant expertise. And this is the criteria by which you'll be evaluated. 50 out of the 100 points will focus on the energy savings and the impact. 30% of the points will focus on the initiative and the leadership you showed in how you got to crafting this, and how the person, the applicant, led to make this happen. And then 20% on the innovation. Was what you're doing something new or exciting, or did it lead to more robust energy savings than traditionally done? However innovation can be defined, we're looking for innovation on this piece. Next slide. So for the timeline and the awards, it's coming up. This has been a bit of a long journey here. We announced this competition on October 5th of 2018. The window for the completion of the eligible projects starts on October 5th and ends on May 15th. So you may have started an energy savings project prior to October 5th. It just needs to have been completed after October 5th or after. It can't be something that was done 5 years ago that you're now bringing up, and that it has to have been completed by May 15th. So that's part of the eligibility concerns as well. The submission deadline is midnight or 11:59 p.m. on May 15th. That is coming up in 2 weeks or so. We will announce the winners in July of 2020, and I'll get into some more details there. The cash awards will be dispersed the following month, and then prize awardees will have their projects displayed, and we'll look to amplify and tell your story coming up in September. Next slide. So as a whole, we're dedicating $75,000 to this prize, and so this will be divided. Into 3 categories: for small manufacturers, medium manufacturers, and large manufacturers, equally divided amongst the 3. For each category, we're expecting to announce up to 5 winners per category, so that each winner will be awarded a cash prize of $5,000. So it'll be up to 15 winners total between the 3 categories, and you see the eligibility of the total number of employees for that category. That hopefully is self-explanatory to you. One question we had early on that I'll want to flag is that should your company have a corporate policy that prevents you from accepting prize winnings, you're still welcome to apply. You're still welcome. You're still eligible to win, and you just have the option to decline the prize winnings. But we'll still recognize you as the winner and look to tell your story and bring some positive attention to the leadership that you're showing. Sometimes that's more valuable for employees. Next slide. And then lastly, in addition to highlighting this, we plan to look for different ways to tell your story. So the 2 bullets ahead are some of the ways. I think the Department of Energy will look to share this via social media, share this via their website as well. The Better Building Solutions Center, which includes our Better Plants program as well, will highlight the winners and turn these into case studies for everyone else to learn from. And then again, provided the Association of Energy Engineers is still planning to host their conference in September, I believe it's now called the AWE World Energy Conference. We look forward to recognizing you there and bringing attention to the work that you're doing. Next slide. So for next steps, I think at this point I get to turn this over to my colleagues at NREL. Emily, I look forward to, thank you for taking this step and explaining for people how to apply on the website.
Absolutely, happy to. So what we're going to do now is shift over to a bit of a live demonstration on the HeroX website. If you haven't been there yet, the website is down here. It's herox.com/ITEAM. You can also find it by going to Google and typing in American Made Challenges HeroX, and that will get you to our main page. So what you're seeing now is the live view of the HeroX page. This is what you'll see when you go to herox.com/ITEAM. Your first step that you'll want to do is to sign in. The sign in is in the upper right-hand corner here. You can log in with Facebook, Google. If you have an account already, feel free to sign in. If you do not, click on this new user button. The sign up form is really easy and straightforward. So when you first go to the page, you'll be able to see the ITEAM image, know that you're on the right site. HeroX, in addition to facilitating the your submission documents and your submission application, also gives you lots of helpful information about the prize. There's the guidelines that will give you more information, timeline. You can see where you are on the timeline, your submission deadline here, which is May 15th. And times, you'll notice that this is almost 10 p.m. Mountain Time. This will automatically update to wherever you're located. Updates, any important updates, feel free to make use of the form for public discussion, see who else is in your community. And the FAQ, if you have for any frequently asked questions, you can always reach out to the ITEAM email address or to American Made Challenges on HeroX, but the FAQ is a great place to start. So after you've logged in and you're ready to upload your submission, what you'll want to do is you'll click this button that says Solve This Challenge. It's going to take you to the user agreement page, which is here. It's going to prompt you to read the official rules document, make sure that you know that you're a competitor, click Accept. And then you're going to want to say, I believe everyone's competing individually and you're not forming teams. The teams is a function within HeroX that you can invite other people to collaborate on your submission. But the easy option here is to say, I just want to compete individually. You can always update that later. And then it'll take you back to the page. You'll click on Begin Entry. You'll enter in a title, short description, an image. You can upload an image of your project that you're working on or something that you feel represents your submission. How did you hear about the challenge? That just helps us know if we're meeting the right or targeting the right audiences. Mandatory information, narrative, project energy savings, 12-month energy savings. These are each separate file uploads. So it's a very easy, you click browse, and then you can go to the document. Size of manufacturer, this is a drop down. A couple more, an optional letter of support if you'd like to upload that. There's two options here, one for each of your letters of support, and then you'll say save and preview. After that, there'll just be a confirmation, and then you will take you to a final confirmation page once you have uploaded all the documents. And if you have any questions while you're submitting your submission form, feel free to reach out to the main prize email, or you can direct message us on HeroX as well. Libby, if you want to go ahead and take back control. And you can go to the next slide. Great. So just to summarize, the next steps for you is to log into HeroX and accept the challenge, develop a compelling submission, so put together all those submission documents, gather your documented energy savings from the project and the plant, which you'll also upload to HeroX. You can reach out to the American Made Challenge administrators if you have any questions, and make sure to submit your HeroX no later than May 15th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And I will say that if you are experiencing any technical difficulty, to email the prize administrators immediately, because if we know about the technical difficulty ahead of time, there's a lot that we can do on the back end, but we need to know about it before the deadline. So that's really important. And yeah, and then we'll take any questions or answers that you might have, or questions that you might have. We have the answers.
Great, thank you, Emily. So if you do have a question, please type it into the question the option. There should be a drop down. And we have received a couple of questions, and then I will ask them of our presenters. So one of our questions is, will data such as BTU and money savings be kept confidential in order to not release what a company's cost of energy is?
That's a great question, and what I'll say is that we'll work with, for all of the winners, we'll work with you about before publishing anything or sharing anything to make sure that it's something your company's comfortable with before we share it publicly. So we encourage you to put it in, but we'll keep it confidential, and then we'll send you a draft of what after we announce the winners, we'll reach out to you to come up with something that find a reasonable accommodation.
Okay, and our next question is, can you submit a project that was across many sites? And I'm asking for clarification about what many sites means.
But so yes, so if you come up with an idea of, I don't know, let's hold a treasure hunt exchange at all of our plants, and you're the person who came up with this idea, and you said, I want all of our plants to undertake this. Yes, I think that's okay. If it's something that you did at your plant and then is replicated at other plants, you can certainly include that information so that that only furthers to tell your story. Ideally for this, I think, as I mentioned in an earlier slide, it's really, the focus of this is to recognize the everyday folks on the factory floor who are driving changes. So if you're in a corporate position that sort of oversees all of the plants, that you can certainly apply and explain that, but I think we're more looking for the everyday workers at the plants who may come up with something that is then shared across several plants. But to a long way of saying that applying for something that's been done in multiple plants is by all means permitted.
Great, thank you. Our next question is, can you submit for someone else? Like example could be like a manager submitting for someone that works under them, or does the person have to submit directly on behalf of themselves?
You do not have to submit on behalf of yourself. Submitting for someone else is fine.
Thank you. We do have one question, if there's going to be a webinar about the solar desalination challenge. I don't know the answer to that. Emily, I don't know if you do.
I don't think that a date has been set. Very typical that we'll hold a introduction webinar. So keep an eye out, follow the Solar Desal Prize on HeroX, and you'll be alerted first thing as soon as we have a date set.
Great, thank you. Well, I'm out of questions. Anybody else have a question? We'll give it a few minutes.
And just as we wait for any other questions to come in, a note that we'll be sharing all the questions and answers on the frequently asked questions page on the ITEAM HeroX website. And we'll be recording this webinar. So if there's anything I said that you wanted to go back and listen to again or share with another colleague, we hope to post a recording of the website just as soon as we can get it published on the web.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Eli. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay,
Yeah,
I think if there are, yes, yeah. Thank you all for joining. Sorry.
No, this is great, and we look forward to reviewing your applications, and stay safe.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Eli. We do have one more question.
Oh, sure.
Sorry to cut you off. Should narratives include the name of the person if that person isn't the one directly submitting?
Yes, I think that this is meant to be an individual recognition prize, so you will want to include no more than their, don't share all of their PII, but including the name of the person and their role in doing this, I think, is important. So yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering that last question.
I'm impressed by all these benevolent folks out there asking questions, looking to nominate their colleagues.
Agreed.
Well, thank you all so very much, and stay safe out there, and we look forward to reading your applications.
Great. Thank you all.